HMS Albion exercised her rights for freedom of navigation in full compliance with international law and norms.
One thing is for sure, the current British move is wrong. It apparently goes against the consensus between the British and Chinese leaders to jointly build the golden era of China-UK relations, so it will definitely exert a negative impact on the future of bilateral ties. We hope Britain will realise the seriousness of the issue and rectify its wrongdoings with concrete measures.
China and the UK had agreed to actively explore the possibility of discussing a free trade agreement after Brexit. Any act that harms China's core interests will only put a spanner in the works.
For more on this, TRT World's editor-at-large Craig Copetas joins us from Paris. Hello there, Craig. So does this show us, do you think, that China is now more willing to use its economic clout to get its way in other arenas, including military affairs?
Well, it's been willing to do this for the past decade. It's just ramping it up right now. Mao Zedong said that China's goal was to make every enemy passive. And they've been doing this by applying money. They have not been getting friends through the barrel of the gun, which is the way they used to do it. Remember, China doesn't have any natural allies like in the West. There's no NATO, for example. So the way they go about getting allies is by buying them.
I suppose historically speaking, looking at it, with a US warship heading into Chinese waters, I suppose it would have created all sorts of sensitivities, remembering all the way back to the Opium Wars, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It goes all the way back to the Jardine Johnnies. But you have to remember here that, sadly, the British government right now is a weak government. They're involved in this Brexit mess. They need trade deals. The Chinese know that. The problem for Britain and other countries within the One Belt, One Road sphere is that plan isn't China's Marshall Plan. This is a method for the world's biggest totalitarian regime to, as I said, buy allies. What do? They lend countries money. And once you control the debt, you control everything. You don't need an army.
Yeah, you mentioned One Belt, One Road. From some Western observers' point of view, One Belt, One Road is perhaps a Trojan horse for other goals, which may include military goals. Does this incident perhaps confirm that in those critics' minds?
Well, if One Belt, One Road is a Trojan horse, it's the most transparent Trojan horse since the original one. The Western global democracies, global democracies in general, they really need to come together on trade. This is what China's taking advantage of right now, because trade is the only effective weapon against this China's economic aggression. As we've been talking this week, because it's been a very important issue about the IMF, and a lot of people believe the IMF is evil. Well, it's not evil. The IMF is broken, and China wants to replace it. And if you want to see disaster and woe, let One Belt, One Road replace the current international trade and lending structures that are now in place.
Yeah, no, it's so true. You mentioned coming together. There's a new US ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland. He's been saying that the US and EU must overcome their trade disputes and stand up to China's what he calls economic aggression together. That's not quite the tone that his boss usually adopts, is it?
No, he's probably been taking documents off the Oval Office desk with the rest of them. Look, One Belt, One Road operates in the black and gray latitudes that that wise men and women really don't want to go into. And since it's Friday, I'll drop a cliche. China thinks in tranches of 100 years. The markets think in tranches of quarter to quarter. What have been how much money did we make last quarter? What are our results? You know, remember when the British got Hong Kong, I think it was a 90-year lease, Azar? The Chinese said, fine, go ahead. And they planned 90 years ahead for the day when it came, when they took it over. That's how they operate in China. That's how One Belt, One Road operates, and it's anything but a golden era of Chinese relations, as the Politburo spokesman in Beijing is saying.
Indeed. We'll have to leave it there for now. Craig Copetas in Paris. Thank you.